I started this ministry, Strength and Weakness, back in 2006, just because I felt like, the church really didn't have a strategy in place to help its members reach out to its LGBTQ family and friends, people that we work with, people at school, again, maybe even some family members. And I just felt like the LGBTQ people in our lives deserved better. As I've traveled around the world, speaking in churches and Christian universities and faith-based groups, what I have found is that most Christians are not homophobic. That's kind of the stereotype of what we've been branded with, that Christians are homophobic and bigoted. And there are some Christians who fit that stereotype perfectly. But what I've experienced is that most Christians aren't homophobic. Most Christians are just uneducated. And what you don't understand, you pull away from. And so I think the challenge we've been faced with is that Christians care, we love, we want to love our neighbors and friends, but when it comes to this issue of homosexuality or LGBTQ issues, we're like, oh my goodness, this stuff is so controversial, it's so countercultural. I don't want to spend all of my time fighting and arguing with people. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. Probably the next best thing then would be for me just to stay silent. Unfortunately, what ends up happening is that we have all these Christians who have decided not to share the good news of Jesus with the LGBTQ people in their lives because they don't know what to say. And so now there's a whole demographic of the world's population we're largely ignoring. But if there's anybody who should have a hope-filled, spirit-filled message for the LGBTQ people in our lives, it should be the Christians. So I was hoping that by doing this ministry, I could give you some bridge-building language and maybe help you understand the situation a little bit better to kind of take away the mystique and the question of I don't understand this stuff so that you can go, okay, you know what? I have a few more tools in the toolbox now to be able to share the good news of Jesus with the LGBTQ people I work with or that are in my community. I also felt like we didn't really have a strategy in place to help Christians who come from a homosexual background but who now as followers of Jesus still live with unwanted same-sex attractions. You get baptized, all your sins are forgiven, but turning into the likeness of Jesus for all of us is hardly a microwave experience. We still struggle with areas of struggle and brokenness in our lives as we turn more and more into the likeness of Christ. And so how can we help homosexually attracted Christians who are trying to figure out how to walk obediently before the Lord even though they deal with same-sex attractions? So I started this ministry. By 2012, so just about 10 years ago though, the ministry got so busy, there were so many people calling for help that I quit my job just to do this full time. The trouble was I quit my job. There was no support, there was no help, there wasn't anything. So for the last 10 years, I've just lived on donations. I never know from year to year how we're going to make it financially. I go around and do these kinds of workshops, and then we just hope that people will help us out. So I get paid every year just because people are like, here's $50 or $100 or $1,000 or $10, whatever, and that's how I live. So, I've just come to the conclusion that says I'm not going to worry about money. My tagline is, if it's the Lord's will, it's the Lord's bill. We won't worry about the money portion of things. So, and God has been faithful. So that's what Strength and Weakness is. That's what we are doing. We're helping thousands of Christians around the world in over 90 countries. We run our support groups and whatnot in 3 languages. And we help parents also, Christian parents who've got a gay child. And that's actually our largest ministry now, helping Christian parents who've got a gay child. And so if you're in any of these places in your life and you are looking for a safe place that absolutely looks at all this through the Christian perspective and you are needing some help and encouragement, our ministry is there. Please check us out. And if you want to help us out financially, we won't turn that down either.